And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
One of the games that I loved playing as a kid was Guess Who. I don't remember when I got it, maybe when I was 10 or 11, but I really enjoyed playing it against other people and trying to use my brain to ask questions which would eliminate the suspects on the other person's side. The game isn't, I mean, it is very logical, but there's a bit of randomness and luck. You know, for example, if your person has red hair and I say, does your person have red hair? I'm much farther ahead than you, and that keeps the game, I guess, from becoming a great classic. And also for the fact that I'm constantly, I got tired of using the same people time after time after time. Well, when I heard that a version of Guess Who was coming out that was electronic Guess Who Extra, or electronic Guess Who Extra, that was interesting because I like games that are electronic. But this word here, extra, well, that was interesting. Does that mean there's more? Well, actually it does. See, the game comes with a variety of different groups of people that you can use to play with. For example, you have your normal people that you use, but then there's also a card here with kids, and they have different attributes like maybe green hair, you can see some. But then we can go even farther, and here's some pretty funny looking cartoon characters. And then there's a card with appliances or things that you find around the house. There is a card with animals, and then there's a card with monster or aliens or whatever you want to call them. And that's a lot of different characters that you can use throughout the course of the game. The game itself comes in this little case that when you open and hold like this, basically is the game itself. Each side looks just like this, and what you'll do is you open this white thing here, and you'll place your board in it. Now there's two boards of each color, so each player hopefully is using the exact same board. But when it's closed, it looks like this. This little dial here, or this little movable thing, allows you to pick, there's two of them, but it allows you to pick which character is the one who is your suspect. And then you'll be using these to ask questions of the other person. So you can say, is their hair black? If they say no, then you put down all the people who have black hair. But if they say yes, then you would put down all the people who don't have black hair. And so all this together works pretty interestingly. However, once we turn on the sound effects, and it's here's the electronic part of it, instead of saying yes or no, I can press these buttons. Instead of saying no, I press this. And it makes some kind of weird sound that says no. If you want to say yes, you press the green button, which again makes some kind of weird sound. Now you're thinking, why would you press the buttons? Is it that hard to say yes or no? Well, no, not really, and it's more fun for kids. But there's also a version of the game when I press the middle button, and that gives me a bit of a timer. You start the game, and I look at the light here. For example, this light's blinking red. That means it's Red's turn. He asks a question. The blue player says, okay, no to the answer. The color of the light changes. Now it's Blue's turn. They have to ask a question. And you can pick how fast you want it to go. And if you run out of time, well, then you've lost your turn, and it's the other player's turn. Now, these time games aren't very strenuous. I mean, I have a lot of time to ask a question, even on the what they call impossible settings. Here I am telling this long sentence while this thing's going on. But eventually, you might run out of time, or at least you will guess the opponent's person in that amount of time. When someone wins, you hold the yes button down for 3 seconds, all the lights blink, and congratulations, you've won. So while the electronic part of this game, to me, isn't as fascinating as the fact that you have all these different boards that you can stick in, it is a nice twist. I also like the twist on how the whole thing here sits well between two players, and when you want to put these out, you put them like this, and then closing them is just a simple matter of closing them like that, and then the whole board snaps shut, and everything fits inside. I can put all the boards inside and the rules. There's also a few little pegs included with the game, and you can use these pegs at the beginning of the game so that if you think your opponent's going to pick someone, you simply stick your peg in that slot, and you have 3 or 4 of these pegs to guess between, to guess people that your opponent might pick. But that's kind of just a random framework of a thing. I mean, oh, you picked Daniel. I knew you'd pick Daniel. Well, I don't know. I find that part merely okay. What I do find interesting is when players can pick 2 people. It's a variant that's included in which I'll pick someone from the top row and someone from the second row. And at that point, questions, the game becomes a lot more logical. I might say, are both your monsters purple? Is either of your monsters purple? And I'm not going to be constantly shutting down the suspects as quickly, because the questions may not always guarantee. For example, if I say both is one of your monsters purple, and you say yes, that doesn't mean I can knock down the purples or the ones that aren't purple, because your other monster may or may not be purple. And so I have to use questions that allow me to eliminate many different things. And it's much harder and much more invigorating. I really enjoy playing that version against adults. But even with kids, they're going to love the pictures. They'll love the monsters. They'll love the animals. They'll love the kids.
Thanks for joining us today.
It's a lot of fun.
For more
switching in and out. They like the electronics. This is a really good version of Guess Who. And I know it's a mass market game. I know it's a Hasbro game. But if you're trying to teach your kid logic, this is a good, cheap way to get it done. It's fun, it's entertaining, and it's going to offer them a lot of memories. The only negative thing, I suppose, would be that it only handles 2 players. So if you have more than one kid, or you have a group of kids, this might not go over so well, but it's almost as fun to watch, and it's quick enough that you can play several rounds back and forth with many different players. So I'm going to give this one a thumbs up. I really enjoy this version of Guess Who, and I think if you want to, even if you're playing with a bunch of adults, that double name version is good enough for you also. An excellent, it just got better.